Hey guys, Born4 here with yet another very brief commentary on the recently announced British Forces expansion for Company of Heroes 2. Now, I had a viewer post a comment asking if I was in the alpha for British Forces DLC. Upon realizing that my last video was just a commentary with some footage of the Brits from Company Heroes 1 playing there in the background, he seemed to get a little upset. So first off here, I just want to clarify that Sega has not released an alpha, beta, or any other form of early access for this new expansion as of now. If they do ever allow me to play, say, a demo of the game as a pre-ordering customer, then you can be sure I will post that footage immediately. I will also keep you informed on my channel of any other updates revolving around this DLC and Company Heroes 2 in general. So I hope that clears everything up. Now, I don't know about you, but I am really excited for this new edition of Company Heroes 2. The Brits were without a doubt my favorite faction in the original game, and I just can't wait to see how Relic decides to implement this faction in the latest installment here in the series. Now, I know there's not really too much detailed information available about the Brits that's been released to the public yet. Sega hasn't really said too much other than it's going to happen. So pretty much all we know now is that it comes with 18 units, 6 commanders, and 8 new maps. So I thought I would kind of start an open forum here for guesswork with this video. So of course feel free to throw out your ideas or your predictions in the comments section below. So here's the deal. Sega has not released any gameplay footage or any real details. They have given us just 2 chunks of media from which we can speculate on the content of this DLC. In particular, of course, I am really curious as to which units from the original Company Heroes Brits they will include in this new edition and what new units and commanders they are bringing to the table. And all we have to go on, again, is the cinematic trailer, which that's what you're seeing here in the background, and what appears to be 5 in-game screenshots. Both of these you can see on the game's Steam page, which I have linked in the description below. Now briefly, I want to tip my hat to YouTuber Duke Derrick, who has posted his analysis of the cinematic trailer, and he really did a great job of it. A lot of attention to detail there in the images we see in that trailer. It is pretty much just a bunch of stills and artwork, of course, but anyhow, he did a really great job. I have posted the link to his video in the description as well, and I strongly encourage you to check that out now, as it really parallels perfectly what we're about to go over here. So what you see up on the screen now is the first screenshot from the British Forces Steam page. The first thing that stands out to me is the presence of 3 aircraft bearing the Royal Air Force logo. One of them appears to be dogfighting with a burning German fighter plane, while the 2 on the top of the screen are apparently delivering a rocket payload onto what looks like a Tiger tank on the left side of that prominent bridge there. All 3 of these are the RAF's Supermarine Spitfire fighter planes. They were used extensively as both interceptor and reconnaissance aircraft during World War II. Now, this does seem to point conclusively to the existence of either a Royal Air Force commander or maybe at least one commander that can call upon direct air support as a commander ability, kind of like the United States could in the first game with their airborne commander. And speaking of aircraft from the original game, if you look on the right-hand side of the screen, lodged in between 2 buildings and enveloped in smoke, there is what looks to be an RAF glider. I say glider not only because they were in the original British Forces in Company Heroes 1, but also because looking closely, you can see by the scale of that thing that it is much, much larger than the Spitfires. Also, you can see that the wings on both the left and the right-hand side of the aircraft have snapped off in what appears to be a very well-controlled crash landing right there on the street. That, more than anything, makes me believe that this is a glider we are seeing because, of course, those wings were designed to snap off on impact so as to prevent it getting caught on a landing, like on a tree or anything, and causing a crash. Also, the nose of the aircraft is tilted at a right angle, just like the entire cockpit swings on a hinge like a door, to allow troops to evacuate it easily. This is just another giveaway feature of a British glider transport, and so it's safe to say we can expect to see these gliders as either another unit or a commander ability of the British forces. Up next are the tanks. We see 5 armor units that are definitely British, as denoted by both the coloring patterns and the shape of the vehicle itself. The one on the far left is a Mark IV Churchill, also seen in the original game. The one to the right of that, I believe, is a Cromwell, and I assume so is the one in the center of the screen, engaging the German armor there. The one just southeast of that, spewing flames on its target, is the Churchill Crocodile tank. And the one right there in the bottom right corner, I'm not too sure about, but I believe it is a Mark VI Crusader tank. Because of the scale of the screenshot, I can't really distinguish between the infantry units on the ground, and there's no sign of the trademark British defensive emplacements in this particular picture either. Moving on to screenshot number 2, we immediately see the Bren gun carrier right there in the left corner. Next to it is what looks like a Crusader tank outfitted with flak guns. Behind that, we see the powerful Bofors 44mm flak cannon from the first game, and the other two tanks look like Cromwells to me. Now this third screenshot is the most interesting. Here we see a lone infantryman firing on and destroying a German tank with a massive rifle. So I did some research and I found out that the weapon he's using is a Boy's anti-tank rifle. This fires a .55 inch or 14.3mm round, bolt action, with a 5-round magazine. Now interestingly, it was designed to be used by the British Airborne despite its massive size to combat both light and medium armor, although the main infantry usually just deployed Piats as anti-tank weapons because they were more effective. This guy is well camouflaged, he's working alone, he's quite a large distance apart from the other infantry we see there to the far top right of the screen. So I'm pretty curious what role this unit will have to play in the game, as he is completely different from anything the Brits had in COH1. Screenshot 4 shows us the devastatingly powerful 14-pounder anti-tank gun emplacement from the original game, going to town on that German armor. Looks like a Cromwell on the left and another what I assume to be an anti-tank, rather an anti-aircraft Crusader on the top right. The infantry sections look a lot like the ones from the last game, except for that HMG team there behind the sandbags. The original British forces only had access to deployable machine guns through heavy machine gun commando units, which were a 3-man team composed of 1 Vickers HMG gunner and 2 supporting crewmen armed with silenced Sten guns. It is very clear that this is definitely a Vickers HMG here, but these are not commandos. They look like just normal infantry, and it looks like a 5-man team as opposed to the original 3. Just north of that AT emplacement, we see the traditional 3-inch mortar emplacement from the last game, getting a shot in the face from that German Elephant tank destroyer. The final screenshot is showing off a lot of armor here. Far left is a Cromwell, just right of that is what appears to be a Sherman Firefly loaded with rockets, that's just my guess, behind which is a Cromwell command tank. Further up the road is a Mark IV Churchill, and finally above that there's some sort of scout car. Now I believe that this is the AEC Armored Car Mark III, armed with a 75mm cannon. Well, that's all for this video, guys. So it looks like we're going to see the return of a lot of units from the original game, as well as some neat looking new additions in both armor and infantry. Let me know what you guys think in the comment below. Leave a like and share with your fellow Company Heroes fanatics, and subscribe if you want to see more. I will see you guys in the next episode.